A lot of questions coming out of this one. So you mentioned the bloodline developments, what this means moving forward. A lot of questions, like I said. But first with the tag team titles, we found out on Raw, RK Bro challenging the Usos again. They are headed to SmackDown on Friday, so this will be relevant after SmackDown airs tomorrow as we speak right now. But they did not forget about the tag team title unification. Now, I really believe, usually from Meltzer, I mean, other people are more credible, like Fightful's more credible and PW Insider more credible, I think, than Meltzer, who isn't always wrong by any means. But I don't know if you saw this report that he put out there or said this on his show, that he said, there were never any plans to unify the tag team titles. They were never, ever going to do the tag team title match at the pay-per-view, which I don't buy that bullshit for a second, because it was Roman in storyline who came up with the idea to unify the tag team titles, and then he was the one that wanted the six-man tag. So why would they even bother promoting the tag team title match if they were never going to fucking do it? You know what I mean? I think they were planning on doing it and they changed their minds, which I don't condone, but I don't think they were always planning on doing the six-man, and that was their way of getting there. I think that's stupid. The second thing is, he also said the other day that they still have no plans of unifying the titles. Now, mind you, dude, this is the same guy, I believe, unless I'm wrong, that also said earlier this year there were no plans to unify the world titles, and they fucking did that anyway. Again, this company changes their mind more than the weather changes, but still, I do think there's a legit chance that why would they go back to the tag team title unification stuff if they didn't have plan? What, are they going to have it end in a no contest? Why even do the fucking match in the first place? Why even tease it? You know what I mean? I feel like there's still a chance we can get unified champions. Not saying it's a guarantee, but why would you even bring that back up when people probably forgot about it if, again, you don't plan on unifying the tag team titles, which I think is for the better at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point you might as well do it. They don't have enough teams. Having two different teams hold those belts, I mean, besides them two, there really isn't much even going on. So, I mean, at this point, I would just unify the belts. There's no reason to have two belts when you don't have enough teams.
And you think I know you said they should. Do you think they will, though?
No.
Do you think they save it for Hell in a Cell, or did they do it on TV before then?
I really don't know. I would save it for Hell in a Cell. I think that would be a big match, but
I mean, what are we doing here? Like I said, so what are we doing moving forward? Because I thought this match might be used to kind of move forward towards Roman's next challenger, and that's not the case, which is fine. That didn't bother me. Roman wasn't on Raw. He was never advertised. That didn't bother me. I don't know if he'll be on SmackDown. But we're finding out now. Now he did say after that house show last weekend, this might be the last time I'm in this city or whatever. I never took for a second. I never took that as, he's leaving the company. His contract's up. He's going to Hollywood. He's going to AEW, obviously, which is ridiculous. But I never took that for a second to mean that he was done wrestling or that he's retiring or whatever. I just figured that meant he would probably not be doing as many house shows, which is exactly what was confirmed that same weekend, that he signed a new deal with lesser dates. I think that did come from Meltzer, so I would believe that because that makes sense, which is fine. It comes out a couple days later that, and this is a fact, that he's not being advertised for any dates this summer beyond Hell in a Cell. Now, not only that, but it was revealed this morning that he's not even on the poster anymore for the pay-per-view. He was, and now he's not, which is a big indicator of whether he's planning on, or whether they're planning on having him be there. Because, for example, like when they announced Backlash for the Dunkin' Donuts Center a few months ago, Brock was on the poster, and he was on the poster coming out of WrestleMania. And then they took him off out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, I guess he's not on the show. So when they take you off the poster, that usually means, okay, you're not going to be there, unless they just don't know. So hearing that, do you think that we're not getting a Roman Reigns championship defense at that next pay-per-view? And what do you think the future holds for him this summer? It doesn't really matter the reason why he's taking time off. It could be a movie. It could be personal reasons. It doesn't really matter. But I feel like that just makes it more of a mistake in retrospect to unify the titles if your champion isn't going to be around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you would have him be the champion and then not have him on those shows. Unless they're going to do some kind of interim champion, which would still be fucking stupid. But, I mean, I could see them doing that. So maybe do something like do an interim champion, so Roman's out, and then you have, like, maybe Cody win it or something like that. And then when Roman comes back, you set up like a big match between them since Roman's back now. But I still think that's fucking stupid. If you're going to have them be both champions, then if anything, have them at least lose one of the fucking belts. I think maybe, like you said, maybe have him lose one of the belts, and then he's still holding the other one, and then you could. I would be less annoyed if they had him lose one belt, he leaves and does whatever he's doing, and then they have like someone win an interim belt. So he lost one of the belts.
Mm-hmm.
If he has both titles, that's just fucking stupid. So
that's what I'm saying. I feel like if you want to continue the Universal title stuff, that's fine. I don't really want him to lose it right now anyway. Like, I don't think he should lose it at Hell in the Cell. I think it should be in one of the bigger shows. At the earliest, I would do it either at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam or the UK show coming up in the next few months. I'm sure they didn't know 2 months ago that he was going to be taking time off. Maybe they did. I have no idea.
They had to have known.
I'm not saying take the Universal title off of him. I just don't think it's a good idea to have him have both belts, and then he's not on any shows. Like, it sounded like he'd be doing the pay-per-views, and maybe he still will be at Money in the Bank, but Money in the Bank, dude, isn't until fucking July. I mean, Hell in the Cell's in a month. I thought it was fine. Listen, I thought the lack of stakes was dumb. You're right. I did complain about it. But I think to have 2 straight pay-per-views with no champions, at that point, we're just moving backward. I feel like we're going back to the Brock Lesnar days when he won the belt back in the day. What was it, 2014, 2015? And then he wouldn't be on any fucking shows for like 3 or 4 months. I mean, Roman isn't Brock Lesnar. He's not a part-timer. I mean, he can wrestle less dates, but to not even have on the next pay-per-view, I mean, the show could end up being great. Don't get me wrong. WrestleMania Backlash was a lot of fun, and no world titles were defended aside from the SmackDown Women's Championship. I just feel like that's really dumb, and you're also wasting an opportunity here to do Roman and Randy. I just feel like that's right there, dude. People really want to see that, and I don't really want to see that at SummerSlam, to be honest with you. I feel like that should be Cody or Drew. But Randy and Roman is the match to do right now, and they're not going in that direction. Again, I could be wrong. SmackDown could change everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if he's gonna be champion, if he's not gonna be on the shows, you got to do some kind of interim or take the belt off him. It just is what it is. So we'll see what happens. I think it would be dumb if you just show up for the pay-per-view, so then how are you going to build it? Like Heyman talking for him? Like, we did that during Brock's title reign. I'm all set with that. Like I said, if anything, I would take one belt off him. If he leaves, do an interim. Then you can do a title unification with those belts when he gets back. I mean, sorry, not sorry. If you're going to take time off, you can't just hold the titles hostage.
I think it's silly, and not just that, too, but he is, in my opinion anyway, one of the best parts of the entire product right now is Roman Reigns. I mean, he's been killing it as heel for the last 2 years. How much do the shows, specifically SmackDown, suffer in his absence?
Oh, it's if he's not on the show is terrible, so...
And it already is bad as it is.
Yeah, it sucks as it is, let alone Roman not being in it, so...
It's bad. I mean, I just don't really know... Like, what do you even have the superstars of SmackDown fight for? At least on Raw, they have enough star power to make it work. I mean, SmackDown has literally been the Charlotte Ronda show for the last couple of months, and that's not a compliment. I like both women. The feud has not been good. Let's be honest. The feud has sucked. Are we going to be subjected to 10 more Ridge and Sheamus and New Day tag team matches? Like, what do you even... There's no one even left on that show. Ricochet and fucking... Butcher and Gunther, like, I don't know, man. That just sounds like a disaster. It's not even like the mid-card titles mean enough to where if the world titles aren't around, okay, we can get away with it because the mid-card titles mean something. I mean, theory is the U.S. champion's been fine so far, and it's only been a few weeks. But that Intercontinental title, how many times do we say it, is as meaningful as the belt around your waist right now? I mean, come on, man.
I think, at least Ricochet's been on TV more and winning, so I don't hate it as much, but, United States Championship, I think Theory's been built up enough. He's been on TV. I like it. Don't hate it. But, yeah, the Intercontinental Championship just needs a little bit more prestige. And if that's going to be the only belt on the show, then you got to put it on someone like Drew or something. Because I love Ricochet, but he hasn't been built up to be anything at all. So, we'll see.
Do you think it's an indictment as well? And we go back to this a lot. But do you think it's an indictment of the fact that WWE just has created no real replacements or stars during this Roman run? The Roman run's been amazing. I'm glad it's lasted as long as it has. But as other people have said, we got to start building towards who's next. I'm not going to say they have no stars, because I think Drew is well on his way. He already is cemented as a star, I would say. Cody is well on his way. He's being built up, which is great. Bobby's in the background despite being 45. But I also feel like you need to start building that next crop for when Roman's not here, because Roman really is the new Cena in a lot of ways. And as someone brought up to me on hashtag on Wednesday, that at least when Cena went away, not that the booking was great, but you had Roman Reigns, and they were very clearly building towards Roman as that next guy. as much as I love Cody and Drew, I don't see them as being the next Roman Reigns. I think that could be someone like a Braun Breaker if we're being serious here, but he's not even on the main roster yet. So by the time Roman starts taking time off, which is now, I feel like they haven't really built anyone up to really fill in the void for when Roman Reigns is gone, which is another problem altogether.
Yeah, I mean, that's especially SmackDown. I mean, I think Drew can get. I think, like you said, if they like don't have the title and they got to put like the Intercontinental Champion to be like the main champion, yeah, just throw it on Drew because it makes sense. But beneath him, there's nobody. I love Sheamus, but he's tied up with the whole goofy New Day shit still. Ricochet, like, hasn't really been booked at that level. Gunther came in. I mean, I guess you could start pushing him up the card, but at this point, you should already have made men. Like, you should have someone else. If you have two made men on one show, you're in trouble. Because injury, or as it seems with Roman just leaving, I mean, you're in trouble.
That's the problem. I mean, I don't understand. I don't want to see them fast track the Roman stuff. I really do want to see them build to, Roman losing to Cody Rhodes or someone like that. Either I would not wait until WrestleMania. I mean, I know the idea of Roman being champion for another year might sound fine on paper because it's like, oh, he's been doing so well, but it's not a Roman issue. It's more so the company not building up any new stars in Roman's absence. So it's not a good situation. I mean, it's not like I would have had Roman lose at Mania, because I think whenever he does lose one, if not both of the belts, I would give Roman some time off. Now, the shows would suffer, but I think it would, like Becky was only gone for a month. But, I mean, she was champion for so long, and I mean, she also took a year off during the midst of one of those reigns. But I thought it was nice because we hadn't seen her as not being champion for so long, that her coming back and, taking time off made sense. It was refreshing. It was refreshing for her character, and taking time off for a while made sense. I think you could do the same thing with Roman. The problem is that they're kind of skipping to step 4 before they even get to step 3, and they're having him take time off, or he's taking time off, before he even loses both belts. That's not good. So hopefully they can build up some replacements in the meantime. I'm not too optimistic, but Drew, at least on SmackDown, is one. You got to build up more beyond that. So they have a big issue right now with Roman Reigns, and him not being a Hell in the Cell is not good, but again, maybe it will end up being a good show if it's headlined by Cody and Rollins for, inside Hell in the Cell for the second, or their third match, rather. That could be their match. They could do AJ and Edge inside the cell if they want, or just one cell match. That'd be fine, too. So we'll see, but it's not looking good so far.